Dating and or marrying a single mother. Buyer beware. That's what we're going to discuss here on Resilient Man channel today. Reasons why you as a man should not date and or get involved, especially not marry a single mother. So, look, they're never going to be loyal to you or put you as the main priority. I'm going to share some experiences, some things that you will experience, or maybe you have experienced if you've been involved with a single mother. And if you haven't, I'm going to share some things that you can look forward to that are not good. My own personal experience as well, having dated and eventually marrying a single mother as my second wife. I'm going to share that with you today. So, welcome back to Resilient Man channel. We're going to discuss single moms, buyer beware, why men should not date and or marry a single mom. So, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now. Hit like, comment your thoughts, comment your take as we go through this. We're going to have some fun with this topic today. Reasons why men should not date or marry single mothers. So, before we get into this, into the risks, the challenges, shall we say, that you'll experience if you get involved with a single mother, I have a question for you as a man that you should ask yourself, and that is, why is she a single mother? Did she leave the relationship? Did she leave her marriage? What were the circumstances that led to her being a single mother? That will tell you an enormous amount about who she is as a woman, who she is as a mother, her mindset, and how she makes her choices in life on how she's going to live. It's a legitimate question. Why is she a single mother? So, if you can answer that and you are fine with her answer, so be it. But I think it's something you really should find out first and foremost, because if she left the marriage and she um, didn't have a good reason for it, shall we say, I think that is a major red flag that you definitely need to exit stage left, shall we say. Now, in my situation, I was a divorced dad of two, and I got involved with a single mom. She had two children as well. I saw it as perfectly fine for my situation because I was a parent, she was a parent. And so, that was not quite an issue for me. What I'm about to share with you, though, the risk that you take of being involved with a single mother, I experienced all of them, and I can tell you it was nothing but heartache, even though I was a parent as well. Now, I also will answer the question, why was my ex a single mom? Well, in her specific case, her ex-husband actually, he left the marriage, and he left because he switched teams, shall we say. So yeah, so she had a legitimate reason. It was not her fault that she was a single mom. That is just the position that she was put in because her ex left. So let's jump into these challenges, these risks, these things that you will have to put up with and navigate if you get involved with a single mother. None of these are in any specific order, but we're just going to go down a list here. So, number one would be limited spontaneity and flexibility. Of course, if you're dating a single mom, her time is limited because of her children and other obligations in her life. The needs of her children are going to take precedence over you. She has limited time for dating. She has limited ability to travel if you want to travel together. Even even daily activities. I mean, it can be hard just to meet for lunch, meet for dinner because, oh, I can't get a babysitter, or I can't afford a babysitter. And oh, by the way, that's when she's going to lean on you to pay for a babysitter. So there is a challenge with a single mother of limited flexibility and spontaneity in her life because she just can't do it. The next thing would be financial, the financial strain. She, more times than not, the single mother is under financial strain, barely getting by, living paycheck to paycheck. And of course, that is going to affect you as a man. When you're dating, you're going to have to foot the bill for most of the things that you do. If you want to travel together, you're going to have to pay. And then once you're married, God forbid if you do get married, you will be expected to foot the bill for her children and pay for things that normally you would not want to pay for. Extracurriculars, you know, there were many things in my marriage where I was, because we were combined, and of course the finances were combined, buying things that I did really not want to buy and I didn't want to spend money on because I was involved with a single mother. The next one is a big one, and this is emotional baggage from the baby data. The, the baby data. The father of the children, there's almost always emotional baggage that the woman carries: anger, bitterness, depression, anxiety, you know, many different things. Many times, the single mother is dealing with unresolved issues from her previous relationship with the children's father, and that spills over onto you. You are the man who has to put up with it and deal with the emotional turmoil as, from being her new partner. And many times you're going to hear the complaints and the brunts and all that good stuff. I can tell you within my relationship with a single mother, even while we were dating, and of course while we were married, I heard how terrible he was, and he was this, and he was that. And, it just never ended. And I just, I'm sure you can relate. The last thing I want to hear is about your ex and you complaining about what he did and all the things and how toxic and narcissistic he was, which are the buzzwords for all women. you know, it's it, it's something that is going to be there with a single mother that you're going to find is nothing but a hassle. So as you're dating, and if you eventually get into a serious relationship with a single mother and or marriage, parenting style disagreements are going to be a big problem. I know I experienced this with my marriage to a single mother. You know, there were um, disagreements in parenting styles. And for the most part, I came at it from the perspective, and she didn't agree with this, by the way. You parent your kids, I will parent mine, and on certain things, we'll discuss them and meet in the middle. But she, for example, wanted to parent my kids and uh, um, be involved in major decisions as far as schooling and things like that, which I said, no, that is something I will handle. The things that I'm specifically talking about when it comes to parenting style disagreements is when it comes to, say, being disrespectful, behavioral problems, not doing their chores, different things like that. There were many times in my marriage to a single mom that she would take the children's side and she would make excuses, and she, even though they were disrespecting her husband, me, she would make excuses and, would not correct them, even though they were not doing their chores and were not doing what they should be doing. She would then say, well, why don't you do it? And I would say, you're out of your freaking mind. You have they're going to do their chores, they're going to do, or we're going to have a serious problem, which we did. So parenting disagreements are a huge problem when it comes to having a relationship with a single mom. And I can tell you, with the children as well, they are never going to listen to you. They are never going to see you as their father. You are nothing to them. You you you're not their biological father, so you might as well accept that. And it's going to cause serious, serious problems. The next one segues from this, and that is, the single mom prioritizes her child or children. This is not going to change. You're not going to get around this. The you as her husband are never going to be her primary focus in the relationship. The children or the child always comes first. They always will come first. I can tell you that in my situation, it is a big part of why we're divorced now. There were things that were done behind my back, money that was spent, money that was diverted, and things like that to benefit her children or put them as the priority, because I never was the priority. And as a man, this is something, again, you've got to realize, if you are involved with a single mother, you will never be the main priority. It's never going to happen. And of course, um, you know, the last one would be challenges in balancing the relationship. You have all these issues. You're raising another man's child or children. That puts a huge strain on the relationship. It also affects your intimate life and romance as well, because the kids are right there in the home with you, and it just causes a lot of problems because you are not the main focus, and you're not the main priority for a single mom. So, guys, let me know your thoughts. These are just some things that I experienced dating and eventually marrying a single mom. Caused a lot of havoc and was not worth it, even though I was a divorced dad and brought kids into our marriage as well, and thought that it was going to work out well because we were both parents. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your take. I hope you enjoyed this message. If you are enjoying Resilient Man content and you find value, please hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the like button. Um, know your worth. Protect your peace.